So I just finished watching episode 5 of Adachi to Shimamura, or Adachi and Shimamura. And I really, really like this show, but I do have questions. Hi guys, my name is Maria Park and this is Approach to Nerd. And in this episode, we are doing kind of a questioning overview of episodes 1 through 5 of Adachi to Shimamura. Okay, first of all, it's a Yuri. I'm in the LGBT community. I'm always looking for good, LGBT, queer content, whatever. So, yeah, I love Citrus. There's so many animes that I love. There are even characters that I ship that probably aren't really shipping material. I'm just going to go ahead and say it. In a certain Railgun series, I am actually 100% pro Misaka and Kuroko, but that's just me. Maybe I'm weird. I am. But in terms of this series, it's interesting because it's not like some of the other Yuri series that I've liked. I mean, yes, it has similar tropes. You have the girl that has the instant crush, and you have the jealousy issues, and you have all that. But this deals with a lot of stuff, especially in terms of family life and a little bit of mental illness. So I think the reason I'm digging this show so much is how their inner dialogues play off. And I'll get to that in a minute. So I just bought all of season 1 on Prime. So as the episodes are released, I can now start reviewing them. So I think I'm going to start with episode 6. So this may be another series that I do a review on starting from this coming up Saturday. But yeah, having said that, I'm not going to do a direct overview of this. I just want to talk about the characters and what I think. And so let's start with Adachi. Adachi is very cute to me, but extremely introverted to the point where it's painful to watch her interact with other people. But something else that I thought was interesting is, one, her relationship with her mother. I'm very curious about it, where it went wrong, why it went wrong, if it's wrong. And 2, how quickly she got whipped by Shimamura. I mean, she's whipped. She has this internal dialogue throughout all of the episodes, especially the latest one when she's trying to ask Shimamura out for Christmas, where she's basically questioning whether or not she's weird, but then coming to the conclusion almost instantly that it didn't matter as long as she was in the same orbit as Shimamura. It has transcended friendship for her basically from the very beginning. Adachi definitely 1,000,000,000% fell first. It's just very interesting how introverted and cold she seems to everybody else. With Nagafuji and Hino, she puts up with them because they're Shimamura's friends. But she doesn't want to be around these people. She doesn't want to be around anybody, including her own mother, except for Shimamura. So there's some stuff to unpack there. We did meet Adachi's mother. So Shimamura gets a gym membership through her mother, a trial they're doing. So they go work out, which was hilarious that apparently Shimamura cannot do a sit-up. So that's very interesting. And as she was getting out of the pool, she meets this woman that kind of looks at her, and basically says, well, now that you're here, I can't be the top dog as you're younger, blah, blah, blah. Turns out to be Adachi's mother. And then they are sitting in a sauna, and then Adachi's mother is basically complaining about her, and Shimamura, 100% instantly just gets angry and challenges the mother to this battle of the wills, who can stay in the sauna longer, without leaving or without passing out, I guess. And it's just very interesting how protective, Shimamura got over Adachi and how her mother was talking about her. Which to me, for a girl you just met, that's very interesting, which tells you there's some stuff going on also with Shimamura that transcend her just liking Adachi, which I'm going to actually break that down too, because this is a lot to basically unpack. But yeah, so that was interesting. And I'm really curious because Adachi's mother made it seem like Adachi's the one that's pulling away from her. And yeah, she goes out a lot or works a lot, but she seems to have been doing that since she was little. She doesn't talk to her. She doesn't seem to want to spend time with her. They don't do dinners. It's really weird. It's very, very interesting. So I would love to know what exactly happened between Adachi and her mother that led to this. On the flip side, Shimamura also internalizes a lot. It says a lot of things, but puts out this whole outgoing, not really bubbly, but definitely put on to make other people happy type, persona. She's a people pleaser, except she hates it. She doesn't seem to understand or want to understand what it takes to be a friend or be in a relationship. She feels like it's basically too much trouble. And we learned that she had a friend, I guess in Japan's version of primary school, that was very close and attached to her, but who would easily get distracted by bright and shiny things. And I wonder if that set the mold for Shimamura, where, the person is only with you until something better comes along. And so she just bases everything off of that moment. It's weird. Just like I don't know where either of the girls' fathers are, if they're in the picture or not. Shimamura's relationship with her mother seems to be interesting too. Her mother doesn't seem to be hands off. I mean, she spends time with them. They eat dinners together. She has an adorable little sister. But it almost seems like Shimamura is even forcing herself to be present in her own house. That is some interesting depression things that keep popping. But it basically seems like she's depressed. I mean, it just seems that way. I don't know if that's what they're going for. They're trying to make these characters as realistic as possible, but I mean, it could be. But it's really weird. And what I found odd about Shimamura's relationship with Adachi is she is not as attached as Adachi is. As a matter of fact, in episode 5, the entire episode, Adachi is struggling to ask Shimamura to spend Christmas day with her, like just go do something, basically asking her out. And Shimamura kind of clues in that she may be asking her out on a date. And she says, if she's asking me out, our relationship or the backbone of our relationship is going to be bent. And then it's going to take a lot for us to try and fix it again. And I don't know if it's going to be worth the effort. And sadly, I already know the truth, that she knows she is not going to put any effort into fixing their relationship. That is an interesting parallel to Adachi, who's like willing to do anything that Shimamura says at this point. And Shimamura is like, I mean, if we're not just doing this as friends, and I'm not just doing this because you remind me of a puppy, if you're not just doing this because, you need to have a Christmas experience and you're actually making me your one and only, then I have to bounce. That's basically what I'm getting out of this, which is so interesting, which makes me question what happened to Shimamura. So these are two girls who had something happen when they were young that has made them as jaded as they are right now. And they're still really young to be, this put off and jaded. So I really hope they address that in this series. As I told you in my last review, I have not read the light novels. I don't have the manga. I don't know any of the future characters that are coming. It's just something that I thought was interesting as the parallel between the two girls right now. Even though I know they're going to end up in a relationship because it's Yuri and that's what's going to happen, the road there is going to be really interesting. And how they, I guess, come out of themselves or deal with their issues is also going to be interesting to me. I'm not going to talk about Chikama Yushiro because that girl just glows, and I don't know if she's an alien, an angel, a fairy. I know that I think Shimamura's little sister believes that Chikama is a fairy. I don't know what that girl is. I do think it's odd that the artwork, which is gorgeous, by the way, keeps having her look like a glowworm. I don't know what that's about. I don't. All I know is the girl is claiming to be from another planet, and for all I know, this is an anime, it could be true. So I'm just going to leave that alone for now. If you know anything about Chikama, you feel free to tell me. You won't spoil anything for me if you have read the light novels or you do know where this is going. But for now, I'm just going to let her be an alien. The next couple and I'm saying couple in this series, that just seem to be so... They remind me of citrus characters, Harumi and Matsuri. Harumi and Matsuri actually are very adorable to me, and sometimes I like them more than Yuzu and Mei, even though I really like those characters. For some reason, Nagafuji and Hino just radiate Harumi and Matsuri to me, and it's so weird. So I always thought that Harumi and Matsuri would probably be a thing. And Harumi's the one that's kind of like held back, and because of how her sister is, and how basically a lot of stuff going on with her, she doesn't see herself liking Matsuri. The more Matsuri is the more outgoing, will say anything rebel type, kind of like Hino. I mean, heck, Hino's even out there fishing. She's like an old soul. She just doesn't care what she says. But Nagafuji is very interesting to me. So in my last review, I pointed out that it was very questionable to me because Nagafuji will always reward Hino with a kiss on her forehead. And apparently they've been doing this since they were children. Well, in episode 5, it happens again. And when it happens, they get caught. I think it's by Nagafuji's mother. So Hino had been designing a mascot for, I guess, their butcher shop or something. I guess that's what they own. I don't know. It kind of went over my head a little bit. But so I think Nagafuji's mother walked in and she had like these mandarins and she caught them and she's like, oh, you two are very close. Because, Nagafuji was rewarding her for this mascot that Hino drew for her family by kissing her on the forehead. And before she did it, she told Hino, I have a reward for you. And Hino's like, oh, what? Oh, you're going to kiss me again. And she's like, Nagafuji, like, so you don't want me to? And she's like, well, I guess I'll accept it. And so she starts blushing and Nagafuji goes to kiss her and she kisses on the forehead. And of course the mother walks in. So Hino like jumps up and pretty much hits Nagafuji, I think under her jaw or in the face or whatever, hurting her. And it was interesting that she's like, oh, we're not doing anything. And, when the mother had said, you two are very close, Nagafuji was like, are we close? And looked really upset of the notion that Hino did not think they were. And then Hino was like, well, yeah, we just seem to be like, we just get along like normal friends. And the look on Nagafuji's face was kind of like disappointed and sad. But at the same time, Nagafuji, even from the character description that I've read, seems to be kind of out of it at times, like how she forgets Adachi's name all the time. So I don't really know what's going on in her head at all. I don't know why she keeps kissing Hino. I don't know why Hino likes it. I don't know. I just feel like this is another couple that is going to be like a slow burn, Harumi and Matsuri. And that might have potential to drive me crazy. I don't know. But yeah, I don't know. I just feel like they could be another couple in this anime. And so we may be dealing with two sets of couples. We have the torturous slow burn love between Shimamura and Adachi, and then Nagafuji and Hino. So I probably will have more characters to talk about. I mean, I'm sure we'll have new characters that will come up at some point in this anime since it is an anime. But yeah, I'm really loving the story. I love the artwork. I love the music they keep choosing. I love how they play their inner dialogues out. Like Adachi's are very pretty and like very detailed, especially she's usually in her underwear and her nightgown and like, they're always laying on each other's laps in her inner monologue and in real life. Like they both will just lay on each other's laps like it's completely normal. But for some reason, Shimamura doesn't seem to understand that she may have an attraction to Adachi, which she probably does. But to be fair, since she doesn't think about relationships and she doesn't think about friendships, getting attached or any of that stuff, she probably hasn't even had a conversation about sexuality because she can't get past the not forming relationship part. She has a commitment phobia without being in a committed relationship. So it's very interesting. I really hope that they flesh that out and they let us know exactly what's going on with all 4 of these girls, because this is a very interesting story to me. And I cannot wait for Saturday. It comes. I'm pretty sure that's the Christmas episode. So I want to see not only what happens with Shimamura and Adachi, but what also happens with Nagafuji and Hino, because I think there is going to be something. So, and maybe we will get a new character next week. I don't know. Again, I don't know who the characters are yet because I have not had a chance to check out the novels or the manga yet. So I am reviewing this blind. The one thing I did notice, though, is that I think that's even stated in the anime is that Shimamura dyes her hair. Because I was looking at her mother and her sister. I'm like, they have darker hair. And so she confirms that she has dark hair too. And I guess her hair was black and she dyes her hair. And then the manga or light novel covers, it seems to be a different color. Like, I don't think she dyes her hair. And then also it's interesting that Adachi's anime looks completely different to me than her manga or light novel look. So I don't know. And these are only going by the covers, guys. So, keeping it real. But yeah, that's kind of like my take on this. I'm just curious. I have questions. Very good anime. Very good artwork. I love the art style in this. I love the music they chose. I love the characters. I just want to know where it's going. So That is my opinion. I would love to know what you guys think, so please leave me a comment below and let me know. And if you would like to sign up for Jury Duty, hit the subscribe button. If you'd like to know who's next in the nerd ballot, hit the notification bell. Until next time, I can't wait for you to approach the nerd. Bye, guys.
Thank you for watching my video. I really appreciate it, but hey, the party doesn't have to stop now. Click on one of these videos and keep it going.